Hey guys, it's Melissa, and last week I asked you guys, what's the one thing that you'd want to know if we had coffee together? And tonight I have all of your questions printed off that you guys asked, and I'm going to be answering all of them. So naturally, I think the best place to start is someone asked, what's your favorite drink to have on this coffee date? And it would definitely be tea. And I know I say coffee date, but I'm such a tea person. I love tea lattes, I love black tea, I love any kind of tea, and it would definitely be tea. Also, I should let you guys know, I sorted all of your questions, so I'm gonna answer all of your personal questions first, and then I'm gonna go to questions about crocheting or about woods and wool so that you guys can like chime in if you have other questions, add in whatever you want. But I'm gonna do personal questions first, and then we're gonna go through the woods and wool questions. And I do have Austin here, so he's gonna jump in a second. You wanna come over now? And so he can kind of come and help answer some of these personal questions because they either related, this is Austin, my husband, if you guys haven't seen him on here before, just because some of the questions related to either like our personal life or were specific to beekeeping or things that you do that people were curious about. Also, this is super lame. Again, the first question was, what would I actually drink on the coffee date? And I'm drinking water for this because it's summer and it's warm outside.
And it's in the afternoon.
Okay, so the next question is from Destiny of Nifty Knittings, and she said she wants to know about our house and if we renovated it. So our house is 90 years old. It's from 1928, and it was taken really good care of by the previous owner. Her name was Esther. She was 100 when we bought the house from her, and we haven't really renovated it but we've done a lot of different improvements and things to it.
Yeah, some small improvements.
So we bought it like 2 years ago. We painted, refinished floors. We just redid our cast iron railing outside like 2 weeks ago. And just constantly trying to restore, I guess, the beauty. Not that it's gone because it was taken really good care of, but just kind of making it our own, but staying true to like the character of the house. Sorry, I'm like not leaving you much room. I'll back up here. Okay, let's look for the next question. So someone asked me, actually quite a few of you guys asked me what my day job is. And yeah, you can cheat if you want to look at the questions. We haven't really prepared answers for these, so we're just winging it. Quite a few of you guys asked me what my day job is, and I never really share or want to share the company I work for. That's just something that I keep kind of private. But I work for a really large company, and my job essentially is a program manager. And so I manage all types of programs for our employees. Like one of them is essentially like TED Talks, but for internal employees. And I get to meet some of the most amazing people and just run this whole program. So I also speak a lot in front of people, which can be terrifying at work.
But Instagram Lives kind of help sometimes.
It actually does. I think Instagram Live has helped me a lot because sometimes I go into like a situation at work and I'm like, it's just like you're talking to people on Instagram Live. It's no big deal. And that always helps me a lot. But yeah, essentially, I just try and make people's work lives better, and my job is to run programs and projects that help accomplish that. It's amazing. I love my day job so much. I know a lot of people dream of being a full-time maker, and I really just can't imagine my life without my day job because I just love it so much. Let's see. Have you always lived in Michigan? No. I'm from about an hour north of Detroit, which is in Michigan, and then we both went to college up in the UP, which if you're not from Michigan, people call Michigan's Upper Peninsula the UP. So it's about 500 miles away from Detroit, and that's about a 10-hour drive, and went to school up there, which is where I met Austin, which is a question that we'll get to in a minute. And then I lived in Wisconsin, in Sheboygan, Wisconsin for a few years. And then Austin, you lived in Wisconsin for a little bit before we knew each other. And then you also lived in Florida for a little bit.
Yep.
Which we thought we would actually move to Florida at one point in time. And then we realized that like that wasn't for us.
It's a little too hot there.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got, okay, here's a really good question. kind of to go along with that, if you could live anywhere else in the US or beyond, where would we live?
2 places. Can you guess both of them, Melissa?
I can guess them. Do you guys know any of them before we say anything? Living in Connecticut, it blows my mind you can drive 10 hours and be in the same state. Yes, it's such a long drive. It's a whole different world up there, but it is absolutely beautiful. Okay, Alaska. Yay! That is definitely one of them. Someone got
the answer.
I think one other place we would live would be Maine. Is that what you're gonna say?
Bingo.
Yeah, we love Maine. We went to Bar Harbor on our honeymoon.
Yep.
And I had actually been to Bar Harbor. I'm trying to think of how many years it was before that. It was at least 10 years before that. Growing up, my family camped a lot, so I think I've been to like 30 states, give or take. And Maine is one of my absolute favorites. And then last summer we went to Alaska and absolutely loved it. But Michigan, like, I love Michigan. Do you love Michigan?
I love Michigan too.
Okay, and Michigan is so different because where we live now is very much in like the city area, but up north and especially in the UP, it's just absolutely beautiful. The Great Lakes are beautiful, all of that. Yeah. It's kind of hard for me to read these comments just because of like my shirt and your shirt.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna like zoom in.
There was some people giving some shout outs from Maine.
Oh, yay! 10 hours and I'm in like Virginia or lower. You know what's funny? If we go 10 hours south, what state would we be in? Probably like Kentucky?
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can go through several states south, but if you just go north, what happens? Okay, can you hold up your hands as like a Michigan map?
Wait,
this is a Michigan
that right?
thing.
There you go.
For them, yeah. Now hold up your other one for the UP. So people in Michigan do this as a map. I know it's weird for people that don't live in Michigan, but this is how we do maps. So we live in Detroit down here. If you drive up...
No, it's further south.
Okay, down here.
Yeah,
because basically if you're in Detroit and you drive like 2 miles south, you would cross over the river and you'd be in Windsor, Canada. It's kind of weird, but Canada's like right here. Yeah.
South.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to get to the UP where we went to school, you drive 4 hours north to Mackinac, which is here, and then you keep going up and then you go all the way over the state and then up here, which is where we went to school. So it's like 4-hour drive and then a 4-hour drive over, and then you can keep going north from there. So Michigan is a wonderland. I love it so much. If you guys are ever in Michigan, message me and I'll tell you like all the best places to go because we love it. And come visit me too while you're here. Okay. When and where did you and Austin meet? This question is from Chantel.
Ah, good old Knititude.
So when and where did we meet? We met in college through a mutual friend. Is there anything...
So
I don't know if there's anything super special about it.
No, it's just kind of ironic because Melissa really had the hots for my my good friend. And then
I can't believe you just said that. I was really not planning on sharing that. I had a crush. You know what? I want to get back at you because you have something in your teeth.
Oh, do I? Oops.
It's like in that one. You can get it out. You didn't get it. Here, move out of the camera and then I'll help you. No, it's right there. Okay. That was karma right there that you just saw. Yeah, so I had like a crush on Austin's friend, and then we met like probably a month before the school year was over. It was my second year of college, your first year of college.
Yep.
And
even though I'm older than Melissa though, but I wasn't held back.
Okay, you're older
Caveat.
You're older than me by like a month and a half. So anyway, yeah, I had a crush on your friend. It was like a month before the school year ended, and then the thing with your friend just never went anywhere. It was like hopeless, literally hopeless. And then we just like started talking, and you were in Wisconsin that summer. I was in Michigan, and we just talked like every day because I remember we were both working at least like 60 hours a week, just like
working a lot,
trying to save up money because we were in school. And we always would just like talk on our way home from work or like text. And then by the time we actually like went on a date at the end of that summer when we finally like saw each other, it was like, oh, this is great. And then the rest is kind of history.
Yep.
Sorry if I missed some questions. You guys are adorable. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Love hearing y'all's story. I wish I could say y'all in a way that was cute. People in Michigan don't really say that, but I think that is the cutest thing in the whole world. What did you do during your gap year? I didn't really have a gap year. At least when I hear gap year, usually people use that here for saying like, if you take a break between high school and college, or between like college and getting a job.
Yeah.
And never took any breaks in there. I think we were both like, go, 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 go.
Yeah, I had an internship right out of high school, so I actually went to a job right out of high school and then got some experience before I was even in college. So
yeah,
and we both worked a lot. And
I shared my degree. I always think people are always really interested in what Austin does. Do you want to share like your field and why it's really different? So we went to Michigan Tech, which is an engineering school. And what's your degree?
My degree is in geological engineering, which is like rocks, I guess.
And mining, right?
And mining, but I like specialized in like mine engineering, mine planning, things like that. So my degree puts me into a pretty exclusive industry, mining. And
so you've been in like gold mines, copper mines,
quarries. I work in an aggregate quarry right now. So
fun fact for you guys, I don't know if we have any chunks of it still, but in Detroit underground there's a salt mine.
I could go get some salt.
Do you have some?
I have some in the garage.
Oh, well, okay, when we're done asking questions, you should go grab it. But underground in Detroit, most people that live here don't even know this, but there's actually salt mines underground, which have been there for like millions of years-ish, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
No.
But anyway, so Austin's been in this salt mine, which is really cool. And when you come out and you grab the salt, it literally looks like big crystals.
Yeah.
It's like perfectly clear. It's beautiful. It's really interesting. It's just like, or like you've brought home celestite rocks.
From the quarry, yeah. Minerals, things like that.
It's just really kind of intriguing and interesting when
it's different.
I haven't done anything like that. So it's kind of cool because your job is somewhat on your toes sometimes, where you're wearing like hard hats and steel-toed boots, but at the same time it's like very business savvy, engineering. Like I just find it really interesting.
Very business oriented though.
So sometimes people too ask me if Austin is a full-time beekeeper. Sorry, I was seeing if
I think I misheard Austin.
Oh, I'm not sure what you said. But sometimes people ask if you're like a full-time beekeeper, and for you, that's like just like a side hobby, which is really cool. But yeah, it's just like a side thing, which we'll get to because there was a bunch of questions about that. So that was where we met. Oh, I see some questions or some comments about the salt mines.
The entrance is in Detroit. Yes, it's actually if you know the Rouge River Bridge, the entrance to the salt mine, there's a mine shaft just to the west of the bridge there, south of the Rouge River Bridge.
My husband worked in a salt mine for a while. He sent me a video of the headlamp lighting, the whole section of the room. It was insane and gorgeous. I've been in salt mines near Salzburg. Where's Salzburg? I don't even know.
Probably near Salt.
Okay, fair enough. Never knew about that about salt mines. Yeah, just really interesting. I am always interested in hearing like what people do for a living and kind of like what got them into that and just where their career path takes them. So someone asked, does Austin have beehives in your backyard?
No, but I want to. I wish I had beehives in my backyard.
So where are your beehives?
My beehives are up at Melissa's parents' house. They have 10 acres in the country, and it's a little bit easier for us to have them up there. So kind of, I don't think our neighbors would really like us having bees next
we
to them.
live like in a historic neighborhood with like really tiny yards. And
yeah, our yard is 60 by 120 feet, so it's very small.
The next question is also bee related. So does Austin get a lot of bee stings, or do you have any special tricks to avoid them altogether?
Yeah, I actually have not had a bee sting since I started beekeeping. Was it 3 years ago? 2 years ago.
No, I think it was 3.
3 years ago that
This
I
is
started.
your 3rd year doing it.
Yeah, 3 years ago that I started doing beekeeping. There's some tricks.
You were afraid of bees before,
Oh
right?
yeah, I was definitely afraid of bees.
Like a bee would like come by and Austin would literally lose it. He'd just like run.
I think that's probably some of the intrigue that I had when I did research into bees and like how they're docile bees and then like wasps are just angry bees and mean bees.
But for the most part, you're always wearing a bee suit.
Yeah, I'm always wearing a bee suit and long pants and then boots. And then also when you ever get into a hive, I use smoke. So like the smoke kind of calms them. It actually forces them to, they think that there's a fire in the area. So like it's just a natural response for bees.
They just calm down.
So they calm down. They actually go deep into the hive and go and get nectar. So they actually almost get drunk off of the honey and the nectar, which kind of slows them down and they get a little bit more docile because if there was a fire, they would need to bring as much honey into their bodies and then leave the hive to start a new hive sort of thing.
Yeah, the smoker is really cool too. It kind of looks like a little like tea kettle almost.
Yeah,
and then it
you
like
puff it.
Yeah, and then it kind of smokes up and then you just kind of put that in the hive and they chill out and then you can go in and check for honey and like see how they're doing. And
yeah, also things to when you're messing with a beehive. First off, if you ever see a swarm, like a cluster of bees, and you know, really the springtime into the summertime is the time you might see swarms or on somebody's vehicle, don't call an exterminator. Call your local beekeeper because those bees will not hurt or harm you at all. And then don't go into a hive when it's like really windy or stormy or a storm's coming because it agitates the bees a little bit more. So if you kind of play by those rules and you open up the hive when it's nice and sunny out, you won't have an issue.
Yeah. Bees are really interesting in general, and just especially honeybees. They're very different from like a wasp or a hornet or like a bumblebee. They're all very different, and they all have like different personalities.
Yeah.
I guess some bees are more docile and than like a wasp would be. So I saw a question pop up that I think is going to roll into another question that we got. So someone just asked, what made you, sorry, it is so hard to read these with our shirts. So what made you guys choose your home location, especially since you're both interested in country living? And someone else asked, what's preventing you from having an alpaca farm now, or is that a retirement goal? And that is such a good question because we do talk about country life and the outdoors all the time. And we also talk about having an alpaca farm all the time. And I think the biggest answer it comes down to is work, because we both have jobs that we really love. We're both really passionate and driven about making an impact in the companies we work for and being just like, I guess, career oriented. So I work in downtown Detroit and Austin works about an hour away. So where we live now, we love the character and the coziness of our old historic neighborhood. And in Detroit, we can't really find a good piece of country land that's within like a comfortable radius of our workplaces.
That's also affordable.
Yeah.
So the whole metro area is just really like it's prime for development. So I guess like the pricing is.
Yeah. So moral of the story is for where we are right now in our life and what we're doing with our work, this is like an amazing spot to be in, and I think we love the city more than we ever thought we would.
I think we appreciate it, I would say, too.
Yeah, there's so much fun stuff going on. I am literally within 15 minutes of like 4 amazing yarn shops, like local yarn stores, not counting like Michael's, Joann's, and Hobby Lobby. There'd probably be 10 if I included those. So I think it's just about enjoying where you're at, but at the same time not losing sight of where you want to be. So our alpaca farm and living in the country is like a 5-10 year type of dream. But I think we'll have some alpacas, you'll have your bees there. Austin really wants to have a chestnut tree farm.
Yeah.
Like seriously, this is like a really...
I've already run the numbers, guys. We're gonna do it.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, like my parents have chestnut trees and you can actually just like take the chestnuts off and roast them and eat them and stuff. But you've got a passion for that. We'll probably have some other kind of animals and things growing and being around. So I grew up with horses. And Austin grew up with like all kinds of farm animals, pigs, goats, cows,
chickens.
So we really hope to have like a fun little small hobby farm someday.
Oh, are there kids in your plans?
Oh my gosh, I hope my mom is gonna rewatch this. She was bummed she can't watch it live, but she's gonna love watching us answer that question.
What do you do for work outside of
What do you do for work outside of creating and design? So I answered that a little bit earlier, but basically we both have jobs in corporate America, and I do mostly like program management, and Austin is in mining engineering. So our kids in your plans, we always say like, how would you answer that before I jump in and answer it? Should I jump in first?
I would just say when the time's right, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely something we want to do together, and you know, Lord willing sort of thing. But yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I think, a very, very selfless thing to even have kids. And I think we just want to be in a place where we've done like all the things we want to do, and we're just like at a place where we wouldn't feel resentful or like we were giving something else up. Yeah, I think that's the best way I can answer it. But definitely like 10 years from now, like I can see like Disney World with like little children with like little Mickey Mouse ears on. It'll be a good time.
I would add the right environment too, because we both grew up in the kind of the country farming environment, and
yeah, I want like children to be able to like ride the alpacas that we have,
or play in the woods and learn those types of life lessons out there.
Yeah,
so.
Like I grew up literally scooping like horse poop,
manure
as they say, but
whatever. Correct.
And it was amazing. I really wouldn't change anything about that at all. It was just absolutely incredible. And city has a lot of cool anemones, but that's kind of like our end goal, our end dream, 5-10 year dream. Let's see. No rush on the kids, trust me. I appreciate that, Natalie. I actually really appreciate when people give us advice about stuff like that, because I think it's different for everybody, and I just appreciate hearing different people's perspectives, and mostly it's really encouraging, so I always appreciate that. I skipped around a couple questions here. I think,
you can answer that one.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple more where you'll be here, and then you can do whatever you want to do with the rest of your night.
I'll go get you a piece of salt.
Oh, yes! I forgot he was going to show you a piece of salt. Okay. Where'd it go? Okay, so someone asked, how do you stay so positive? And a couple of thoughts I have on that. And one thing I just want to say too is that it's really, really easy to come off positive on social media, or just come off any way you want to on social media, because you're only seeing like a tiny, tiny, tiny glimpse of someone's life. And just anytime you see anyone acting anyway on social media, just know there's 1,000 other things going on in their life. So for me, I always try and say like, choose to be happy and choose to be positive, because I think that's just the best way that you can be. It's going to make any situation better. But sometimes like the Instagram stories I do in the morning in my car, sometimes they're more work than others. And sometimes it's just a choice to be like, how am I going to show up today? And it's positive. But I get salty sometimes. I get cranky. But for the most part, my biggest, okay, like once in a while. But my biggest thing is always just being grateful. And if I can be grateful about something and I can find something I'm grateful for, it just changes my whole perspective. Like, we like to run, and I'm not like the biggest runner in the world, but even when I'm running, I'm always telling myself,
I am not the biggest runner.
Yeah, but you run too with me. And I always tell myself, it's so silly, it sounds so trivial, but I always like think to myself, I'm so grateful I have legs. Like, I'm so grateful I have legs that are carrying me right now, that can do this. Like, I'm so grateful for my legs.
And I think that just plays to the, like, opportunities that you have in your life. Like, be grateful for those things that you have and don't take them for granted, right?
Yeah, like I could not stand wedding planning. I did not think that was fun. I know some people are like, oh my gosh, Pinterest, it's gonna be such a good time. And I was like, this is terrible. It took so much time, so much money. But I always tried to reframe that by telling myself, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to marry somebody because I met someone worth marrying. And some people,
Wait, there we go.
it's easier to do this way.
Yeah.
But some people never even find like someone that they want to share their life with. So I always try to be like, well, yes, I'm not super into wedding planning, but I'm grateful that I have this opportunity because not everyone really gets to have that and gets to have those moments and all of that. Sorry if I missed some of your guys' questions. Ashley, our goal is the country life too, but I'll come visit you guys for the alpacas. Oh, yes. Let's see. Don't rush the kitties. They are fun for sure, but so much work. Yeah, and like I love sleep, you guys. I am such a big proponent of naps and sleeping 8 hours a night. You like the car stories. I appreciate that. Melissa is always positive, but she will cut you. Natalie, okay, you've met me so many times in person. I feel like that just described me to a T. I hated planning my wedding. It was the worst. Love being married though. I love being married too. Do you love being married?
Yeah, it's kind of like the wedding planning is like a necessary evil.
And I have, now whenever we go to a wedding, I have so much more understanding and respect and admiration for the wedding. You can come back in the picture.
Sorry.
I just have so much more appreciation for that couple and the way that they put together their day and how it reflects them, instead of sometimes people go to weddings and they're like, oh, the food isn't very good, or I didn't like that music. And I just have so much more appreciation now for all of it and all the work that goes in, the money that they spend, all of that.
More wedding comments.
With you on the weddings, we planned ours in 3 months to fit before deployment. Wow, we wanted to elope, but then decided weddings means more presents. I would have loved to elope, but we both have kind of smallish families, and we didn't want to deny our family the experience of our wedding, and we did want to celebrate with them. So we ended up doing. For the record, married 6 years, and it's marvelous. Wedding planning was just yuck. Yes, we've been married for almost 2 years now.
Almost 2 years now.
Okay, couple more questions, and then I think you'll be done here. You'll be done. I won't be done. There's a whole bunch of woods and wool questions still.
I gotta go water the grass.
Okay. So someone asked, what do you do to relax or recharge? What does your me time look like? I like to read. I like to exercise. I like to be outside. We like to play tennis.
We like to go on walks
Yeah.
through our neighborhood. That's another, I guess, positive point of living in the city.
Yeah, or just like family time and things like that, I think.
Yep. Being in the woods.
Yeah.
Being outside.
Yep. Nothing super fancy, really. Just kind of going up north sometimes on weekends.
Oh, yeah, that's fun. Going up north.
Doing all different kinds of fun things. Any more questions that you think that you want to answer?
You said that what do you do for fun? No. I think that's it. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yay! Okay, I'll answer the rest of the questions. Most of them are about woods and
Oh, wait,
wool.
I'll answer this question that just popped up.
Oh, okay.
From Evelyn. Do you guys spend most of your free time together? We spend all of our free time together.
We do a lot together.
We do
We
a lot
grocery shop together. We hang out quite a bit, which I
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Until I annoy Melissa a little too much. Sometimes.
It just depends on the day, right? I'm an introvert, so sometimes I need that time by myself, okay?
That's fair.
All right. How do you do the waves in your hair? Oh, you're so funny. I actually just curl them, and then throughout the day, they're kind of like messy at this point. And then I don't wash my hair every day, so tonight I'll braid it, like in kind of like a French braid, sleep on it, and then tomorrow, if you see me in my stories, it'll kind of be like messy, wavy. So I try and be kind of like low maintenance about it, but today, like when I wash it, dry it, curl it, it's kind of a lot of effort. It's also been pretty warm and humid here lately, so at the end of the day, it just kind of is what it is. And when the curls start to like fall out and stuff, I just roll with it. So like today, I just curl it with a normal curling iron. And then sometimes I use the same curling iron, but I like wrap my hair around the outside of it, hold it, and then let it go. So that's just, yeah, I always love short hair. I've had short hair for most of my life, but when I grew it out and I realized that braiding is so nice, I feel like braiding and messy buns actually make long hair way easier for me than short hair ever was. Okay, you guys asked me a couple questions about makeup, which I thought was really funny. Before I was married and I lived by myself in Wisconsin, I used to watch makeup videos all the time. Like you can just go down the makeup YouTube rabbit hole and just learn any trick you've ever wanted to learn. So you guys asked me what mascara I wear, and I loved Benefit mascaras for a long time. There's the Benefit, their real mascara, and the Benefit Roller Lash, and both of those are like $20. And then I think it was like last year, I found this CoverGirl Supersizer. It's like a teal package. I decided to bring it for this video so that you guys could actually see if you're looking for it. And it's honestly just as good. I feel like it like lifts your lashes. You can build it up if you want them to look thicker. And what I really like about it too is if you're, like if I go for a run outside and I have mascara on, like it doesn't get on my eyelid, it doesn't transfer off the way that some other mascaras will. Like it stays on. And then you need like a makeup wipe kind of to get it off. It doesn't come off too hard, but it stays on really nice. And then someone else asked me what my makeup routine is, and you guys are so nice. This person said, your eyes are so gorgeous. I want to know how you get them so fairy-like. That is seriously the nicest thing ever. So in a nutshell, I do my makeup every day that I go to work. So Monday through Friday, and then on weekends, I generally don't wear any makeup at all because I like to let my skin breathe, and I'm low maintenance at heart. So yes, I like to be put together when I'm going to work, but if you ever saw me on a weekend, I look completely different. So yeah, so I do foundation and concealer, and then I do a little bit of contouring. So you can use, some people just use a bronzer for that. I do blush, I do highlighter, and then for my eyes, I usually just do a little bit of like pretty basic, pretty plain eyeshadows. So like kind of a color that's a little bit lighter than my skin tone, some browns in the crease, a little bit of eyeliner, and boom, some mascara. So that's that. I think makeup is one of those things where you can do whatever you want. It's just kind of like a self-expression thing. So whatever order you want, whatever products you want to use or not use, it's just kind of like a cool way, I think, to feel kind of like the way that you want to put yourself out into the world, if that makes sense. All right, so my favorite songs and podcasts. This is the last personal question that you guys asked. I love so many podcasts. I have a whole Instagram story highlight with my favorite podcasts, but my all-time favorite one is Gold Digger by Jenna Kutcher. I've listened to it since like the very beginning, and I just find her so inspirational and so helpful. I just absolutely love her. And favorite songs, that kind of changes. I have like a soft spot in me for like punk rock and alternative songs. But right now, my favorite music is The Neighborhood, which they sang the song Sweater Weather, if you've ever heard that song on the radio. And I just love like all their new music that they just released, so I listen to it all the time. But that could change in like a month. So now we all want to see your weekend look because I feel like you're always super put together. Yeah, I think the couple times I've jumped on my stories on the weekend, I will use like a black and white filter. It's kind of silly. I mean, I really should come on here without makeup on, but people are always like, you probably look the same. And like, I really don't look the same. Just being perfectly honest, I feel like I've never had really good skin. So my skin has like a lot of red undertones, and it's just never really that clear. My eyelashes are like super blonde. Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's just kind of funny. I feel like there's low-key Melissa that's doing nothing and not wearing any makeup and my hair is all gross, or there's like what you see right now, which is like I went to work or I had somewhere to be. There's place for both. I love that song. Yes, I love The Neighborhood. They're so good. Okay. All right, on to the Woods and Wool questions. Not as many of these questions, so hopefully we won't like max out Instagram Live here because I've already been on here for a little bit. But these are such good questions, you guys. And I hope that they're helpful if I can answer these in a way that helps you as you're doing your little maker business. So someone asked me if I've read any good books related to my business, and if so, favorites I'd recommend. I think Austin was grabbing salt also. So I hope he'll be back in a minute. I just remembered that. Oh, you forgot? I heard the door, so I thought you were going outside. Okay, he's going to go get salt because we were talking about that earlier. Long story short, you're going to see salt from a salt mine.
Here's Celestite. We have this one.
Oh yeah, this is a mineral, right?
Yep, Celestite.
So this is Celestite. This is from your work, right?
Yep.
Okay, this is what Celestite looks like. That's all I can tell you is that it's a mineral and it's from Austin's work. If you have any other questions about it, we'll have to wait till he gets back because I don't have a clue. It's really heavy. I have a chunk of this at work. I use it as like a paperweight. I don't know, just so random that he like comes home and he'll bring home like a bunch of these or something. I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. All right, so you guys asked for a book, business book. And this is one, I haven't finished reading it, but I've really been loving. It's called Better Than Before, and it's by Gretchen Rubin. She wrote The Happiness Project, if you guys have ever heard of that. And I love like bookmarks as I'm reading, so you can kind of see I'm like almost halfway through the book. Actually, no, I'm over halfway. This is where I'm at. But this book is really all about habits and understanding the type of person that you are. There's like 4 different habit types, and then finding ways to construct your life in a way that you can create habits so you don't have to think about things. Like you don't have to think about brushing your teeth every day. So creating habits that help you be more successful. It's a book. Oh, that's the salt. Oh, it's not like a pretty clear piece.
No, your pretty clear piece is at work.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to take a picture of you guys of the piece I have at work, which I also use as a paperweight. But this is a big chunk of salt from a salt mine, and I showed them the Celestite.
It's all used for like road salt. It's not used for eating.
Yeah. So this is like if you live in somewhere like Michigan where it snows, they like grind all that up and put it in the road, and then it melts the snow, and then it's safer to drive on. And yeah, here we are. Do it, you're gorgeous. You are so sweet. I don't know if you guys can relate, but to what I was just talking about like makeup and stuff, I think some people are just like that really naturally beautiful, never need a touch of makeup. They've got perfect skin. What are you coming back for?
I just wanted to tell everyone about my favorite podcasts.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite podcast?
I have 3 favorite podcasts.
Okay.
Probably the most favorite is Radio Lab.
Okay.
It's kind of like informative,
That
but
one's
also
good. Yeah.
interesting stories, educate yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is More Perfect, all about historical Supreme Court cases made by the same folks. Incredible. And then number 3 is The Moth, which is people's everyday stories. They can be moving, they can be funny, they can be really sad, but
It is good.
great listens when you're on the road.
Yeah, those are good too. If you guys have like a road trip and you're in the car with someone else, they're really kind of like just nice to listen to if you don't feel like having a conversation in the car. Sometimes if we're going on a long drive for like a half hour of it, we'll just like sit and listen to a podcast episode. It's awesome. Absolutely, everyone can relate. I'm glad. Okay, well, I'm glad that you guys understand. Okay. My top favorite yarns and why. Whew, that is the hardest question ever. But my favorite yarns are generally like alpaca and anything that's local or sustainably made. I really, really like feeling good about what I'm using. And I'll show you guys, I have one in the shelf right here. I'll grab it real quick. I have to like walk around to like come back down and sit here, but this yarn is called American Scenic and it's by Blue Sky Fibers. And this yarn, I might even say on the tag, it's been a minute since I bought it, but it was like a limited edition yarn. And let's see, oh, it does say cool. So they made this yarn in partnership with Long Island Yarn and Farm, which is in Long Island, New York. And it's American made yarn, and it is a blend of alpaca, I think merino. Yep, 50% alpaca, 30% US merino, and 20% silk. And it is so soft. It's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. This color is like my favorite color in the whole world. And my favorite yarn is probably this one, even though I haven't even used it yet. Because I love what it's made out of, and I love the story behind it, and I love seeing companies do things that are good, like for everybody, like just the impact that they make. I also love hand-dyed yarns, and I think hopefully you guys will see a lot more of that in my upcoming designs and just things I'm working on, because I think it's cool to support other small makers, and obviously some of those yarns kind of cost more, but they're amazing, and it's for a reason. So anyway, that's that question. How did I learn how to crochet? So my grandma taught me when I was a kid. I don't know how old exactly I was. I was probably about like 10, and we would go up north. My grandparents live on a lake in the summer up north, so we go up there, and my grandma is the type of person that thinks that everyone should know how to like sew and quilt and knit or crochet and cook. Oh, that reminds me, I actually missed a question. I'll come back to it in a second. But anyway, so my grandma taught me how to crochet. I made dishcloths for like 10 years straight. And then I finally started like branching out and trying to make scarves and blankets and other things. But very humble beginnings. Made some really, really ugly dishcloths. I missed a question. Let me find it. Someone asked me something along the lines of, oh, my go-to meals, even though I'm not a good cook, because I'm totally honest with you guys that I just don't like cooking, and there's certain things that I can cook well, and it's a very short list of things, but I'm just not into cooking. And I guess what I realized as far as go-to meals, that I don't really have to like cook a meal or go out to eat in order to eat healthy. So I eat eggs a lot. My favorite thing to do is to bake a potato, or you can even like microwave a potato and then have like over easy eggs with it. And if you don't like over easy eggs, that sounds really gross, but anyway, it's heavenly. And then I eat like vegetables usually almost every night. Like I always have a bowl of cut up tomatoes and cucumbers, and I make smoothie bowls all the time, which can just be like any frozen fruit you've got with some almond milk. You can throw on some chia seeds or flax seeds. We hand make granola. So yeah, I'm not really much of a cook as far as meals. I'm more of like a grazer, and I just love eating like fruits and vegetables and healthy grains, and yeah. So basically my favorite thing is any form of potato. You can make homemade hash browns with like a grater and just grate a potato, make some hash browns, again, throw some eggs with it, you're good to go. If you've got like vegetables like spinach or broccoli or tomatoes or anything like that, you throw it in there and you're just set. Also, I love sweet potatoes. Love sweet potatoes. Okay. If you had a wish, what would you like to achieve within your craft or business? Like learning a special stitch you always want to try but never did, or a special kind of pattern that you never made before. Until last summer, I never ever thought I could make a garment, and I made a couple. And now I decided to make a cardigan, which is the Pebble Cardi that I've been working on since like January. And that's something that I feel like a cardigan is just, designing a cardigan, I've just wanted to check off my bucket list. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do it again, but I'm almost done with this, and I'm like so proud of it because it's something that I never even thought I could do. So that's kind of my top achievement that I'm working on right now. So, do I have a set day and time that I like to crochet, or crochet whenever I want to do it? Sometimes I go to work like an hour early and I crochet before work for like an hour because it's just a good start to the day. But usually just like in the evenings if we're hanging out after work or something like that. I actually probably have crocheted like an hour total in the past week. We've just been really busy with other stuff. So I try not to put too much pressure on myself with crocheting and feeling like I should be doing something or I could be doing more. Just trying to like take every day as it comes, because when you put all that pressure on yourself, it becomes not very much fun. Someone also asked how I manage self-care and how I turn my brain off, which is kind of what I was just trying to get at, but basically just giving yourself grace. Like if you need a minute or you'd rather go for a walk because it's beautiful outside instead of crocheting, like go for a walk, enjoy your life. I don't think you should feel like just because it's kind of worked, it doesn't need to feel miserable. Like you don't need to make yourself miserable in order to be successful or to have an impact on people. Biggest fear with woods and wool. That's really easy. My biggest fear is to stall out. Like to just be lost in a sea of makers and be just like everybody else and just fizzle out. That's my biggest fear. Best way to make personal connections, not business connections, with people you see or follow on Instagram. Just talk to them. Literally just send them a DM and just chat. That's how I got to know Chantel of Knititude and Tony from TL Yarn Crafts, just by chatting and just striking up conversations. They're just normal people, and anyone out there, just send them a DM and just be like, hey, just want to let you know, like, I really like what you do. Or, hey, like, I saw that you're in my area, like, let me know if you ever want to grab a coffee and crochet or knit together. Yeah, basically just don't overthink it. Just talk to them. How long did it take you to first sell your knits and or patterns? Well, I learned how to crochet when I was like young, but I just started selling like physical products less than 2 years ago. And then almost a year after that, I decided I didn't want to sell physical products anymore. I just wanted to design stuff. And then I started designing like 6 months after I started selling physical stuff. I don't think that there's a right answer to any of that. Basically, when the time is right for you. Okay, the last question. I just had to make sure I got them all. Yes, that's how we all do it. Okay, cool. Hey girl, hey. I'm always chatting with people. Yeah, and I love that. I seriously, there's just something when you have like a genuine conversation with someone online or in person or whatever, and it just like warms your heart. Okay, the last question I got is, after crocheting for so long to make patterns and do all of that, do you still hold the same passion for doing it as from the very beginning? That's a really interesting question. My first design was last summer, just about a year ago, and it was the Everyday Triangle Scarf. And I remember thinking, I never even want to design another pattern because I'm never gonna love one as much as I love the Everyday Triangle Scarf. I was just like, this is it. This is where I peak. This is the end. And that's true because it's still my all-time favorite pattern to make. It makes me so happy to see other people make it. But I think my passion just like continues kind of changing. And I'm passionate about different things. Like I never started this with the intention of doing like Instagram lives and like talking to other people and trying to help them and educate them. But like that's a passion, and designing is a passion. I just think your passion kind of like changes over time, but it's still mostly the same. But like the way that you're working on it and working toward it is different. So sometimes it's doing blog posts, sometimes it's patterns, sometimes it's doing stuff with Maker Strong. It's always evolving, and I think that's only natural, because if you try and like measure it by just like the bar I set with the Everyday Triangle scarf, like it's not just a linear scale. It's like, well, the Everyday Triangle scarf is here, but I also love blogging and doing Instagram lives and stuff, and that's just like on a different scale. And then, yeah, I don't know if that makes a lot of sense. I think it's just always changing. I don't know if I can even measure it. It's different than it used to be, but it's still there. Okay, that was all the questions that you guys asked me in my post. Thank you so much for all of those. If you have other questions, we can hang out here for a couple more minutes. Otherwise, I should tell you guys, I'm going to OML, our Maker Life, this weekend with my mom. I'm so excited, and yeah, it's seriously gonna be magical. I know I've been sharing some hints with you guys about like a secret project that I've got coming up. So probably a little bit later tonight, I'll share with you guys what, like a hint toward what the project is. But since we're here on Instagram Live, the person that I'm doing this kind of collaboration with is someone that I'm gonna meet for the first time at our Maker Life this weekend. I'm so excited. So I think I'll give you guys that hint and share with you who it is when I'm actually with them, and we can like do a story together or something. Oh, I'm so excited. And then, yeah, we're doing like the local yarn store tour on Friday with the Our Maker Life group. So they have like a trolley or like a bus, and we're gonna go to 4 different yarn stores in Chicago. And guys, I'm probably gonna come home with so much yarn from that. I don't even know how I'm gonna hold back. I haven't bought yarn in like a while. Well, no, I did just buy some from Knit Picks, but other than that, I haven't bought a lot of yarn in a while, so I can't wait. It's gonna be great. Yay, I'm so excited too. I want OML to be in Atlanta one year so I can go. Yeah, I have a feeling last year I did not go to Our Maker Life. I just was too late, and by the time I thought about it, the tickets were all gone. So this year, like the day the tickets went on sale, I bought it like at like 6 a.m. And I knew I wanted to experience it, and I'm really excited. And I have a feeling that I'm always gonna wanna go every year after that. I had a ticket to OML, but so sad I had to get to, oh, that is sad. My mom is going with me, and I am going to maybe see if we have time and if she'd be willing to do like an Instagram live with me about it afterwards. And maybe, I'm sure I'll be on my stories and stuff, and hopefully you guys can feel like you were part of it or feel like you were there. Last year I loved watching everyone's stories from it and just seeing like what was going on and what it looked like, and it was cool to see people meeting in person that I was like, oh my gosh, I love them, and then they'd meet, and it was a whole thing. Anyway, I'm feeling all kinds of warm and fuzzy and excited about it. So one other thing I wanted to say, I try to focus not on numbers a lot, but I am really close to 10,000 followers. And just so you guys know, again, just because we're here on Instagram Live together, I have some exciting stuff planned for you guys when that happens. It's not a giveaway. I'll probably talk more about that later and why I'm not doing one, but some really, really fun, exciting stuff for you guys. So keep your eyes peeled. Got a secret project coming up, gonna be at Our Maker Life. Got some exciting 10K things coming up, and a couple of designs that I've been working on for like a while. Okay? All right. Have a great rest of your night, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.